Yes, it happened that, sorry for that hiccup. So Angel is here with us. And I want to take this opportunity to actually recognize those who are joining us. So this webinar is more of just trying to have a discussion, basically, as young people, just to see where do we want to go and how do we get there. And we are graced today that we have very senior people in this country, very powerful people. My co-facilitator today is Angel Mbuthia. We already have her in the house. So Angel served, let me just repeat her profile. She served as the vice president of the then student body. It was called the powerful SONU. And she's been traveling all over Africa. And I can tell you she's been an amazing inspiration to many young people, not just in Kenya, but generally around the world. Karibu sana Angel, and say hi to these people.
Hello, John. I'm quite excited to be part of this forum. And you know, when the alumni calls, you come running. And this is one of those platforms that that I also used to join that got me to the journey and on the path that I am on today. So for me, basically giving a brief background before even I joined SONU. When I was joining the university, I was very much interested in becoming a journalist. That was my dream. That was my aspiration. Because when I was in high school, I was more active in the journalism club and all that. So moving forward, I kept on watching the news because I wanted to understand how are the news done, how are the news casted, how are they read. So that got me engaged quite a lot in watching the news. So in the process of me watching the news and watching the bulletins, I got interested in national issues, and then I took an interest in maybe I could add value to this country as a change maker and not necessarily as a newsmaker. So that got into my head. And then so when I joined the university, I started getting more into active class participation. When I was in first year, I would volunteer to become a class rep. I would answer questions. I would engage in class debates because I wanted to build that aspect of confidence and speaking in front of people. And you know, when you're joining the university, you know you're joining the big leagues, the Ivy, the cream of the country. So I wanted to engage my brain at a level where I could be able to tackle things ahead. I wanted to be on top of the game as well as all the other students were. So that also gave me a platform as well, because now students got to know me from class engagements. I would never miss a conversation in class. I would always make a contribution. And so when students want something to be communicated to the administration or to the lecturers, they would say, Angel, you are the one who always talks. I mean, why don't you say this for us? I mean, we want this, we want that. Why don't you communicate this to the administration? So they used to send me as a class rep. And that is how it got me interested in seeing that young students are interested in being led in a certain way, and there was a gap at that time. So as a class rep, I got into that actively, and I started representing students in communicating their issues. If they had an issue, I would now know when to assist because I would be actually involved in processes. And you know, at the university, once you've left class, comrades like to go and relax or do other things. Others have to go to work. We are not always interested in what the administration really has to offer. But that's something we should also look into as students. And then so from then on, I went into, now I got interested. Angel, there are elections coming up. Why don't you run for academic affairs? And in academic affairs was more stemmed into being a class rep. It was more about articulating academic issues and all that. Now, what the challenge would be is that it would not just be about a class rep for my class, it would be a class rep for the entire university, because when you serve as the academic affairs, at that time we had popular votes, and I would be elected from comrades across the 9 campuses that we had at that time. I think now we have 10 at the moment. So that was quite a huge responsibility, and it was exciting and it was scary at the same time. So I got started with academic affairs. I started involving the people I was with, my friends. I mean, that is where it starts. I want to run for this. What do you guys think? I don't have money. I am from a humble background, like most of us are when we joined the university on government scholarship. And I did not know exactly where to start. I knew I needed a budget. I knew I needed mentorship. I knew I needed to talk to students. I needed them to see my potential. I needed them to have confidence in me that I could represent them, that I could articulate their issues the way they desired. And that was a plus, because I had already done something small at the classroom level. And so, mind you, this time when I'm trying to get into elections, I am just finishing my first year. I'm now getting into second year. So as I'm waiting to join and all that, that's when now we're having elections. So I still feel like a first year. And now I want to get into SONU politics, and you have all the stereotypes on SONU politics and the who's and what's and the things that might happen. So it was quite exciting at that time. Anyway, I gathered the confidence I could, and I had students supporting me. And it's quite something, because when you desire something and you get into it, you find other like-minded people who are also interested in the same things. And I don't know how it works in the universe, but you find others who are just willing to support you and help you. And there are people who believe that this country, they see ahead, they see just not at the university, but they see beyond. They know if I build this leadership in you, it is going to be projected further. And SONU has the advantage of having produced leaders. And that's something that now, when someone invests in someone in SONU, they know they're going to the national platform. Chances are quite high.
Okay, so just a minute, you said something that is very, very much important, and it's the issue of mentorship. And I think as young people, yes, we have their desire, we have zeal, we have, but we are lacking something we call knowledge. And knowledge, I think, to a great extent, is got from quite a large part, but through mentorship. I don't know how you'd advise these students concerning the area of mentorship. What should they do? What is this extra mile that they need to go so that they can get the best of the mentors that we have around?
Yeah, right. Yeah, thank you, John. You're doing a great job. You could also be a mentor, because at least you've had your fair share of the university journey, which could be very useful to someone who is joining. Yeah. And then again, it depends on what you chase and what you desire. At least the one thing that is on you is knowing exactly what you want as an individual, because now that will help you set your pace. And then, so for me, it was in student leadership at that time. So one thing I knew, there are people there are administrators, there are lecturers who have already been in the student politics before. And that is a one-stop place to go to if you're interested in matters of student leadership. Again, what we need to appreciate about our university, it has most of the things we need, because even that is where the government sources for expertise and professionals. So our university, for you interested in business, there's a business school, there's a lecturer, there's an administrator who has that experience and is in that field and knows exactly what you need to do. Look for them because they are there. And then again, if it is innovation, we have Chiromo, we have places you can go to. First of all, I would like us to explore what we have at the university, the resources you have already, because that is where I went to. I just asked around and I was told there's a lecturer that was also a student leader. You could go and listen to 1 and 2 things from them. And the lecturer was quite excited to see me. I'm interested in student politics, was very willing to support. And that is something that comes from them. It's like me, if I went back to the university and became a lecturer, I would be very happy to support student leaders who want to get into the politics. So there are those already who are there at that time. So if you're interested in leadership, if you're interested in starting your own organization, if you're interested in starting your own company, if you want to get into humanitarian work, all of them are there. They're there. The university has those sectors that provide that.
Wow.
And then again, and then again, moving forward, Don would also like to say, and then again, I was telling a story, and then I got elected finally as the Secretary for Academic Affairs. And that was exciting. That was a milestone. And now I was more confident now than ever that the first people who have believed in me when I was a younger mind are there, are my colleagues, the people, my classmates, my lecturers, and they believed in me first, even before anything else. And so I really like to appreciate that and all. And it gives you that confidence to move on. It gives you now the boldness, because when 15,000 students vote for you, that is quite something. That is almost an MP in a constituency of some sort. And so that gives you the boldness to move on. So it challenges you to want to do more. And I would still engage our professors, and exactly how could we even increase the capacity of our students? Could we host more programs? Do we take them to more fun fairs? Do we take them to more education fairs? Do we take them? How could we expose our students more into the outside world so that they are able to go out there and create their own opportunities? So that's where I got, I designed platforms for students to engage with the private sector, the government. And you find that even as we are trying to do all this at the university, you think that you're on your own, but when you come out and reach out, there are people who really want to add value to what students are doing. We think in small spaces, like John, you could tell us when you are trying to set up this forum, when you look for the people to speak, they have smiles on their faces, I'm sure. They're excited. They see you in their office, knocking on their doors, asking them, could you please come on board? There are people who are actually willing to support you in that journey that you aspire to be in. And that is a plus. That is a positive aspect of society. Again, there are challenges, and these challenges should not blind us from chasing what we want to chase. Because I think in this world, we have a blank check in our lives. We need to write on it what exactly we want, and you can go and cash it. So it is all based on us. It is all up to us. And when you attend the University of Nairobi, and out here, people say, it doesn't matter what you do at the University of Nairobi, even if you are preaching, even if you are doing PE, even if you are doing engineering, whatever it is you're doing, the alumni network that you get into, the students you get to interact with, that puts you on a platform for you to be able to network. And we have seen this world. It is all about networking. It is all about friends you make. It is all about not staying in your rooms and watching movies, but going out there and trying to do something. Because there's a lot of time at the university. There's time to go to class. There's time to go to class. There's time to attend a fair organized by the university. The university also organizes a lot of them. Right from first year, I think we should take advantage of them because they're always there. You will not miss an opportunity by the time you're fourth year. So if you start calculating yourself right from first year, on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, don't go home. Stay in the university. Go to town. See where you can volunteer. You will learn something or two. You'll be able to grow yourself in your mindset. You'll be able to know what you want. Because when you're at the university, it means you have the guide. It means you have the brains, you have the intellectuals, or you have the energy. All it means now is that you need to focus it on something specific. And you can find that out. So I believe that that's something we should also energize ourselves when we're at the university, because we need to be out there. We need to put ourselves out there. So let's not miss out on that.
Wow, that's a really, really nice. This is our big sister, and I know that all of us here have had the best. And it's nice to just recognize that we have the speaker with us today. That is the Chief Administrative Secretary, Ministry of ICT, Innovation and Youth Affairs, none other than Nadia Ahmed Abdalla. And I also want to recognize the Dean of Students from the University of Nairobi, Mr. Johnson Kinywa. Thank you so much for gracing this event. Thank you so much to see our moderator for today, Mr. Kenneth Sawe, who also happens to be the Executive Director of the University of Nairobi Alumni Association. Let me take this opportunity to welcome all the people who are here today, including the youths from all over Africa, all over Kenya. I know we are not limited to just having students from the University of Nairobi. And I now want to take this opportunity and welcome Mr. Kenneth Sawe, who is our moderator for the day. Thank you, Sana. Karibu sana.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to moderate this session today. First, I want to thank you together with your team for organizing this platform. I think it's a good platform for us as young people to come together, to engage, to discuss our issues. I think most times you have been complaining that we don't get opportunities to engage as young people, to discuss about our issues. And I believe that Hearts Prize and United Nations have done a good job working with us as the University of Nairobi to engage, especially on matters that touch on youth and also in innovation. I think first I want to say thank you for inviting the CAS for Youth and Innovation. One, she's a young person. She understands us. She understands what we need. And I also want to thank the ICT department and the ministry itself because they have continued to support the University of Nairobi, especially on the areas of Ajira Digital Program, the Presidential Digital Talent Program. And I believe these are some of the things that she'll be telling us today about how we can leverage in this platform so that we as young people, especially now during COVID, where we are struggling on what can we do, how can we move forward in terms of opportunities. I believe these are some of the things that she will be discussing with us today. I also want to thank Angel Mbuthia. I think I was really inspired by what she has done here at the university. And this is basically paying it forward. And this is what we usually tell most of our young people. Once you graduate from the university, what do you do to give back to the university? You don't really need to give back money immediately, but there's a way you can pay forward by volunteering, by coming to mentor, coaching other young students, and also just coming to engage us on areas that we can improve on as a university. So I think I want to say, bravo, Angel, continue with that spirit. I'm happy that even as we come together today to listen to our CAS Youth and Innovation, we are all cognizant of the fact that the future is now online. I think even as the University of Nairobi, when the COVID-19 struck, the management was thinking, how do we move forward? Do we close the university? Do we suspend learning? But I can say for a fact that the management, together with our Vice Chancellor, we were able to quickly move into the online space. And one thing that I like about young people of this country is that we were able to embrace change quickly. Of course, they are the laggards, the people who are a bit slower, but a majority of us were able to quickly move into the digital space. We have been able to conduct our learnings right from postgraduate classes, undergraduate classes, even those ones in diploma. So I think for me, it's really an exciting time to be alive as young people, because this is the time for us to take advantage of the opportunities that are here with us. It is also an opportunity for us to engage our government through policies and through laws that can make our digital engagements more easier and more relevant to all of us. So I'm not the speaker for today, so I don't want to take so much time, but I would just want to say that I'm so pleased with what you guys are doing, especially John and your team at Hearts Prize. We are wishing you all the best as you continue preparing for this competition. We believe that you are going to bring this prize home when that time comes. But I also want to encourage the rest of us that let us remain proactive, especially as young as we are. Those students who are still in their first year, those students in their third years, you need to start engaging when you're still young. Don't wait until your fourth year. You start coming out to start to look for opportunities. Opportunities, you start looking for them when you're in your first year. So without further ado, I want to take this opportunity to read the bio of our speaker for today. That is CAS Nadia Ahmed. So I'll just read the bio the way it is. Nadia Ahmed Abdalla serves as the Chief Administrative Secretary in the Ministry of ICT, State Department of Innovation and Youth Affairs. She was appointed in January of 2020. She has a bachelor's degree in Public Relations and Mass Communication from Taylor's University Lakeside Campus in Malaysia, and a master's in Arts in International Relations and Cultural Diplomacy from Hochschule University, Germany. I think she will correct me if I have misspelled that name. She's extremely passionate about the providing opportunity for the young people to better themselves and normalizing the mental health conversation in Kenya and beyond. She enjoys cycling, cooking, and traveling. I believe that with this bio, I believe that she's ready to talk to us. She's ready to engage us. I will only ask all of us to continue typing our questions on the chat box, and I believe she'll be able to answer all those questions at the end of this session. So thank you so much, John. I think CAS karibu sana.
Hello. Good Good evening, or is it good afternoon, everyone?
Good afternoon, karibu sana.
I'm just, sorry, apologies. I'm just fixing the lighting before, switch on the other light.
Sure.
Okay, I think it's okay now. Good afternoon once again. My name is Nadia Ahmed Abdalla. I am the Chief Administrative Secretary in the Ministry of ICT, Innovation and Youth Affairs. Currently the youngest in the country, which I take pride in that because it shows how the president has so much faith in young people and what they do and the different things that they can actually accomplish in terms of transforming our country socially, economically, and politically. So as you know, innovation in Africa is not a new concept. Human survival requires like constant innovation and adaptation from time to time. And for most Africans, innovation is a necessity which enables us to navigate through life daily. However, in order to do so, we need one of the most basic necessities, which is life, food, because this defines human experiences. You know, we have from family dinners to religious fests to quick snacks, eating during breaks at work, and many of other relationships we have with food in order for our bodies to shape our minds and our communities as a whole so that we can call home home. And as you all know, food is like the equalizer of everything and the equalizer of life. And so the world is facing unprecedented challenges right now that affect the sustainability of our food and the agricultural system. As you all know or might not know, today about 821 million, 1 in 9 people are chronically malnourished, and 1 in 3 people are malnourished, and we have 1 in 8 adults who are suffering from obesity. The fight against humanity or hunger has seen some progress over the 15 years. However, the world is still off track to meet most of the sustainable development goals targeting hunger, food security, and nutrition with higher incidence in Africa and Asia. And so for us, eradicating hunger and food insecurity, as well as ensuring sustainability in agriculture, is one of the central pillars of the SDGs for the achievement of the entire 2030 SDG goals. And so achieving the UN SDG 2 of ending hunger and achieving food security and improved nutrition entails improving productivity of small-scale farmers by promoting technology, market, sustainability of food production system, and basically resilience when it comes to agricultural practices. And to meet growing food demand from a projected population to close to 10 billion people in 2050, agricultural output will need to increase by about 40% in the effort to end hunger and achieve food security and improve nutrition. And at the same time, also to promote sustainable agricultural sustainable goals and feed its growing population, the government of Kenya, as you all know, launched the Big Four agenda. So this is like the 5-year program that seeks to achieve the rapid results in the 4 identified development sectors, namely like manufacturing, universal healthcare, affordable housing, and food security with nutrition. So if you look at it, the agricultural sector plays a vital role in the Kenyan economy because it accounts to up to 65% of the export earnings and provides the livelihood, which is employment, income, and food security needs for more than 80% of the Kenyan population. And it actually contributes to improving nutrition through production of safe, diverse, and nutrient-dense foods. So if you look at it, innovation is a complex process that calls for not only the government's role, but also other key stakeholders, including civil society, farmer organization, research bodies, and private sectors. And we all have a role to play in creating an environment that enables innovation in agriculture to flourish and generate solutions. So many times, like many development countries are yet to harness the full potential of agricultural innovation, which is something very important and very unique, and which is something that young people in Kenya can actually harness and hold on to. And so, you know, at most times we're usually at very unique crossroads in which serious commitment and investment in young people will be an important factor in fulfilling its development and transformative agenda. And so to successfully realize the African transformation agenda, governments have to really capitalize on the potential of Africa's youth and growth in an increasingly free and fair continent. Young people of Africa are dynamic, as we all we're dynamic, we're forward thinking and best positioned to find innovative solutions to local challenges through the use of science and technology. And so to do this, conditions obviously have to be sustained, and young people need an environment in which buries them to self-actualization from time to time. And so, you know, like there's a lot of long-term strategies that need to be introduced with the view to stimulate the creativity of young people, providing them with quality education geared towards the global market, strengthening their capacity through training, through workshops, facilitating and just supporting establishments of innovation centers and hubs, ensuring equal opportunity for all, and breaking down the socio-economic barriers. You know, all of these are in the center of developing and harnessing the potential of African youth, and in this context, also Kenyan youth. And so additionally, political commitment is an essential requirement needed in order to develop ICT infrastructure, promote research and development in science and technology, as well as harnessing the potential and possibilities of Africa's youth from the transformation of our continent. So, as I think a lot of times people don't understand, or young people don't understand, that innovation is more than technology. Okay, so it really goes beyond apps, it goes beyond drones or farm machinery. Innovation in agriculture involves different social, organizational, and institutional processes, ranging from like access to markets, to credit or extension services, to marketing products in a new way. So it is therefore important that government pursues policies aimed at providing equitable access to ICT and quality education, to also encourage research and development, empowering young people, stimulating a culture of creativity and innovation at the same time, and breaking down the socioeconomic barriers, and really just facilitating access to funding from time to time. And this will really enable the government to create environments that are conducive for also the key stakeholders, civil society organization, development partners, private sectors, and actors, community associates, to just work with young people in taking advantage of new opportunities presented by innovation and technology, which is really a key driver in this context. And so as much as agriculture plays a key role in prosperity of every nation, however, in Kenya and Africa, the sector is at crossroads due to another major concern, okay? And the concern is young people lack interest in the sector, leaving the country with manpower difficulties, jeopardizing Kenya's and Africa's food security and economic prosperity and the continent's progress, you know? And so like in Kenya, the population is really, really growing rapidly. And however, the statistics show that while the average Kenyan is 19 years, the average Kenyan who is a farmer is actually 60 years. So that says a lot. And you know, it raises a lot of doubt as to whether the country can be food secure when its most active population is not willing to participate in food production. And so it is therefore, it's very critical, you know, for today's youth to be engaged and empowered to embrace agriculture and nutrition. As a government, you know, we need to invest in sensitizing and promoting awareness of the importance of agriculture and highlighting the roles that everyone can take towards food security, because it's very vital and very important. And further to that, the development communities need to invest further in financing models that ensure that young people are also empowered to come up with innovations that create solutions to ensure food security and make available any other resource necessary for successful farming. So with the current digital revolution, as you all have seen, experienced, or are facing, Africa is very ripe, to utilize technology, which offers an opportunity to attract youth to agriculture through digital platforms and innovations such as social media, apps, robotics, and artificial intelligence. And these are digital platforms that can be used to spread knowledge. They can build networks, and they can reduce the farming costs when it comes to market access and information gathering, while increasing their profitability. And so I believe young people have the potential to solve several issues faced by farmers, such as poor and fluctuating prices in the market, and the existence of the middleman who take advantage of the farmers and huge losses that they endure due to the bad weather. And so it may be an uphill task and a change because of the change of mindset of the millennials about agriculture, but it can easily be realized by 2030. And in this regard, I really commend Holt Price and United Nations for the partnership, and organizing this impactful focus program, creating a pathway for youth everywhere to take action and build a better world, which is very important. I mean, as we're here, this boot camp is taking place at a very opportune time. It's allowing young innovators to share and elicit ideas on how innovation in technology can be harnessed with the possibilities presented by young African population to advance the African development agenda and to stem steadily the continent's raising food crisis. And it's my hope that through this boot camp, participants will develop and improve products and processes in order to increase effectiveness, competitiveness, because a little bit of competition is good, and resilience. Therefore, it will be able to contribute to the food security and the nutrition, the economic development, or the sustainability of the natural resource management that is there. So as a government, the government is determined to ensure that the youth innovation is fully integrated and positioned at the forefront operations of agriculture and growth in order to transform. We believe that this boot camp will lay the groundwork for research on the youth and innovation by answering the overreaching questions of how innovation in science and technology can be used to build on the momentum of the economic growth in Africa, and elicit ideas on how innovation and technology can harness the potential of the African youth in order to advance the African development agenda to stem steadily rising youth unemployment, reducing youth unemployment rates. To me, this is also, I'd like to say, a very great opportunity for experts from local and international organizations, young entrepreneurs, academias, to share ideas, knowledge, and experience, including best practices and efforts to create an enabling environment for young people. Because I believe young people are very innovative and can come up with different structures and abilities in order for them to not only provide for the socio-economic sphere of the country or the nation at large, but it's a chance to also encourage young people to envision their own possibilities as leaders. Because I believe that young people are not the leaders of tomorrow. Young people were actually the leaders of now. So it is what you're doing now that actually creates a difference and actually puts you at a pivotal position to you being seen and being understood and also just being heard. And so the Halt's Prize is challenging you to transform from necessary of survival into a vehicle of change. And through this program, you'll have many examples from which you can draw inspiration from, authentic pioneers and innovative practitioners who are rethinking food for a better world. So, draw your ideas from these inspirations to build viable innovations that will not only fundamentally change how we all think about food and food systems in the next decade, But also beyond that, how will it impact the millions of lives of people in the next decade? And how will it strengthen communities? How will it increase incomes? How will it feed the hungry? And how will it create jobs? Because that's what's important. And the Innovation Bootcamp will also help you learn innovation's best practices to improve the skills on real opportunities and generate game-changing innovations. You know, as I said before, innovation is not only technologically related, it's how you create something. It's how you do something in order to, you do something for a social cause. You know, I think as young people, we need to now really harness that idea of, if I'm going to do something, or if I'm going to build something, I'm building it, you know, for the betterment of the society, for the betterment of the socio-economic sphere. You know, when you see yourself as a young person, as a young African, as a young Kenyan, you're not looking at yourself as an individual. You're not an individual, but you're a generation that is yet to come and solve so many problems and so many issues that will create a better livelihood, a better social sphere, a better political and economic sphere for everyone. So young people, I think it's not, I think, but I believe it's very important to know that you're the key drivers for innovation. You're the key drivers of digital wave. You're the key drivers to resolving the food insecurity, to building up new leadership ways and new leadership skills, and just harnessing that power that is within yourself, because it is key. You know, when you look at a lock and a key, young people, young Africans, the youth, we are the key. You know, because the lock is already there. It's just us to use our keys in order to unlock the many opportunities and the many innovative ideas and structures that will help us harness who we are and who we are as individuals, and also as a whole society. So I'm very much happy to be here, and very much happy to have shared some of my thoughts with you all. I'm a big champion of young people. I'm a big champion of innovation. I think it will also not be okay if I don't say this, but I'm also a big champion of mental health. And so as you have these discussions, I think for me, it would be key to say young people should also take care of their mental health. As you go further, and as you grow, and as you get partners, and as you build, and as you give back to the community and the society and the country at large. So it's very important. So all the young people who are here and who are listening to me, I just want to say that you all matter. All your ideas matter. All your innovations matter. And we are here for you, to serve you. And yeah, so thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, our CAS. I think that was a very, very insightful presentation. And now I want to take this opportunity to start taking in questions for the CAS. Kindly type the questions on the chat box so that I'm able to relay them to the CAS, so she's able to answer them. So I think, CAS, thank you so much for that presentation. Let me start with Bob Gashiru. Bob is asking, how much money has been allocated for innovation in your ministry? And I think, how can they access that money if it's there?
How much money is allocated
for innovation?
For innovation, I think that's sorry to say, but that question is very broad. Okay, because innovation can be anything. What I can say is that there have been a lot of programs that have been brought up, you know, in the ministry with the different developing partners, together with other ministries, that have served the purpose to actually encourage young people to innovate and to also bring forth their innovations, so that they're able to either, one, be taken up, or two, either be harnessed, and so that they can be taught how to now groom and grow them from there. And so if you follow the different, I would say, the different social media outlets, or even what the ministry is doing as a whole, you will realize that there have been a lot of innovative challenges, innovation boot camps, There have been a lot of innovative competitions that a lot of young people have benefited from. And some have actually also been taken up and grown from there. And so I think to answer that, I'm challenging young people to be more proactive. Rather than asking how much money has been allocated, how many of the young people know the different places in which they can send in their innovative ideas so that they are able to either one, be taken up, or two, be helped with seed funding on everything. We have the Huduma White Box that I think even the Cabinet Secretary talks about it a lot. That's one of the platforms that young people have been given and being encouraged to actually push forward their innovative ideas there. And then from there, it's vetted. So if your innovation lies under the big four agenda, then you will either be contacted and to be taken up. And then from there, you're going to see how it can be elevated forward. We have the National Youth Council, which came up with a lot of innovation competitions. Just I think the other day they awarded a few of them. You know, they were in partnership with different developing organizations. There's a board that has been spearheading and choosing the best innovations that have been there. You know, this was the ministry together with the communication authority, and there was actually a whole board that had been allocated, and young people were picked from there and chosen to do it. So let's look at what you can do as a young person through the different government channels to push your innovation across, rather than finding out how much has been allocated. Because you might know, I might say this much has been allocated, but as a young person, what have you done to take advantage of that? Do you know the programs that have been there? So I hope I've answered you in the most, I would say, diplomatic way possible.
Thank you, CS. Another question here is from Benjamin. Benjamin is asking, the country is moving towards digital economy. What strategies has the ministry put in place to ensure that innovation takes center stage in moving the country towards e-economy?
Sorry, can you repeat that question again?
Okay, sorry. The country is moving towards a digital economy. What strategies have the ministry put in place to ensure that innovation takes center stage in moving the country towards e-economy?
Okay, so the first thing that I can think about is the Ajira Digital Program. The ministry has actually rolled out free courses that have been benefiting the young people. And what are these courses about? These are courses that teach young people to equip them with digital skills that they can use in order for them to now get into the digital economic ground, you know. You just go to ajiradigital.go.ke, register. I personally have registered for classes there. You know, there is marketing classes, there are sales classes, there's transcribing classes, and I've literally met beneficiaries who have actually taken advantage of that. Then we have the partnership that we had with Huawei. There is the DigiTruck. So the DigiTruck has been actually going into the, how do you say it? It's been going to the different counties, you know, and this is a truck that has been equipped with, you know, tablets and computers and internet connectivity. And then there's a whole program that has been set aside so that young people can be trained in that particular area. So it will stay at a place maybe for 4 to 8 weeks or for 2 to 4 weeks, depending on what that particular county has requested or wanted. And I've also met beneficiaries who've done that. So how does this benefit the young people? It equips them with digital skills, but also gives them an opportunity to access the internet. Then you have the Fursa versus Virus challenge by the National Youth Council that was brought up. We saw a lot of innovative ideas that were pushed through. And of course, there was a board that helped in deliberating which people were going to win, which people are not going to win. There was top 3, of course, the ones who won a certain amount of money or who won certain things by the different partners that they had. And this actually also prompted them and prepared the young people for this economy. You know, we have the youth empowerment centers you know, some which are being refurbished right now. You know, some are being, now there's a lot of internet connectivity in some, and some there's a lot of refurbishment going on. So what are these centers there for? The purpose of the centers is so that young people can actually go to those centers and find out what are the programs that are there, but two, as a way for the ministry to really equip the young people with the digital skills that they will need and require in order for them to really benefit from this digital wave that has been triggered right now because of COVID-19. So again, I think I would emphasize on one thing is that as young people, you know, including myself, I challenge myself, we have to be proactive in finding out what are the different things that have been laid out there. Because I'm actually a person who goes to the ground, and I've gone to see, and I've seen beneficiaries who've actually accessed these different platforms, and some have employed themselves and some have actually employed other people. So those are the few that are on top of my head that I can say in how the ministry has prepared the young people.
Thank you, Nadia. I think I'll take another 2 or 3 questions, then we'll be done. There's a question that is recurring, is the question on the white box. Everybody's asking you to say something about the white box. There's one who registered last year and has not received any feedback on the white box. So please say something about it.
So the white box, okay, it's like, you know, growing up, there was this thing called Bahati Nasibu. I don't know what it is in English. I wish I could say, but I hope they understand. So basically, it's automated, you know. When we talk about the white box, which is a platform where we're giving a chance to Kenyans to push in their ideas, their innovative ideas. And I said, when you go to the whitebox.go.ke, you'll see that they specifically said, as long as your innovation lies under the Big 4 agenda, then this is something that will be looked into, okay? I've met beneficiaries, and I've also met people who've said they've never been called, you know, because they applied. And so it's basically you putting your innovation across, okay? If yours gets picked out of the hundreds that have been applied, then you are one of those people or innovators that was lucky enough to get picked and do it. And if you don't get picked, it doesn't mean that your innovation wasn't seen. It just means after the critical deliberation that was done, it was found out that maybe your innovation lacked something, or maybe your innovation didn't have something. That's why it wasn't shortlisted. But again, it's a platform that does work. I want to encourage young people to actually keep going to it, whitebox.go.ke, apply for it. But it's not something that when you apply, you will 100% be called, because, oh my God, Kenya, we have amazing innovations everywhere. But the ones that have been looked into and the people who have been called are the ones who've qualified. It's the same thing when you apply for a job, when you apply for admission to university. Sometimes you just don't get admitted, and sometimes you do.
Thank you. I think that is quite comprehensive. Another question is about the innovation grants, innovation hubs. Most young people have the ideas, they have the innovations, but the access to capital has been a big issue. Can you advise the young people on how they can go about getting grants, getting access to capital, so that they're able to take it to,
Yeah. I think, again, Kenneth, before I answer that, I'd love to say something. I'm really emphasizing, and everywhere I go, young people need to be proactive. Young people need to know about the different programs that are there that the government has. So we have the affirmative funds that actually offer these loans. Okay, it's a revolving fund. We have the Wezo fund and we have the Youth Enterprise Development Funds. These are such, to me, I've seen, they're such amazing funds because, one, you can either apply as an individual or apply as a group. And, you know, it's from 50,000 all the way to 5 million, you know. You can do that. And where do you get them? How do you access them? We have officers in all counties, affirmative fund officers, and their offices. So you just have to, as a young person, you have to find out which county are you from. When you know which county you're from, go and find out which officer is in your county. Then ask for information. In fact, I've gone to some of these offices. They take you through, you know, how to apply for the fund, what you need to do to get the fund, And they let you know that this is a fund that is revolving. What does revolving mean? The challenge we've been having is that young people apply for these funds and then some of them don't pay back the amount of money. So when you don't pay back the amount of money in an affirmative fund, what happens? The other 50 young people suffer. Why do they suffer? Because the fund's lifetime lies on us paying back the amount of money. And the positive thing about it is when you pay back the amount of money you've taken, it gives you a higher chance to actually now apply for a much higher loan in order for you to now even invest more in your business. You know, there are stories. There's a beneficiary that I met who just applied for the fund, started his small mobile clinic, and now he owns a lot of hospitals all across. And so these are things that you can, young people can take advantage of. And if there are women here, there's also the Women Fund, which you can now take advantage of. So you can also visit the government portals that are there. The Youth Fund has a page online, visit it and find out about it. It also gives you a substantive a breakdown of how you can access this information and everything.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Nadia. I'm being pushed to ask this last question, then you can finalize with your closing remarks. Evans is asking, with new technologies in ICT, such as 5G, artificial intelligence, robotics, and what have you, how are we going to access such limited facilities in such an environment and apply them in agriculture? So as you answer that question, once you are done with that question, please give us your closing remarks. I'm told that you are pressed with time, you're rushing somewhere. But after your closing remarks, I will invite Angel Mbuthia to give a vote of thanks. But I want to tell all our participants that all the questions that you've asked, we are going to forward them to our CAS so that she's able to comprehensively answer all the questions, because I believe most of those questions are valid and they need to get responses from her. So don't worry, I'm going to forward all the questions to John, and then John will be able to ensure that our CAS is able to respond to them. So Nadia, please proceed.
So if I get the question correct, it's asking how can they access the opportunities or access the connectivity, or
yes,
what are they?
Yeah, basically he's saying that with all these technologies such as 5G, AI, robotics, how are they going to access such limited facilities in such an environment?
The environment, what environment are we talking about?
Just a minute, let me just pick the question again.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the question. With the new technologies in ICT, such as 5G, AI, robotics, and what have you, how are we going to access such limited facilities in such an environment and apply them in agriculture? I think I not pick the last sentence, yeah.
Okay, and apply them in agriculture. So, you know, I'm still trying to understand what environment we're talking about, because if you say in such environment, we can be talking about a challenging environment. We can be talking about an environment that doesn't have connectivity. We can be talking about a harsh environment. So that's why I was trying to understand what environment. But let me answer it according to how I understand. So since we are in ICT innovation and youth affairs, I understand it in the sense that maybe the challenge in connectivity, that's the type of environment they're talking about. And so I mentioned the youth empowerment centers, and right now they're being refurbished. Why are they being refurbished? They're being refurbished so that they can have connectivity that can serve the young people. You know, a lot of young people, from what I've seen, the challenge is, one, in access to information, two, in access to connectivity. Yes, when we have these agricultural innovative ideas that are coming up, how do young people now take advantage of that and literally put themselves at a unique position when it comes to the market industry, or when it comes to their sales, or when it comes to anything else that they have? And so I would say, take advantage of finding out where that youth empowerment center is, okay? Because from there are managers there and there are trainers there. Now, those managers and those trainers, their purpose is to actually teach young people on how to use the different digital facilities that will be there. So take an example, you are a farmer, okay? You're into agriculture and you want to now adapt into the technological world. What do? If you go to the center, you're going to be trained on how to first access that digital space, okay? Then you're also given a chance to use connectivity, you know, and information for free. And that's what I like about that, because I wish when I'm not that old, but I wish in my time, I knew that these centers were there, because I would have done the same thing. I would have gone and I would have tried to see how I can now put myself at a unique selling point so that my goods or my services can be sold. And so I think the environment that we have right now is a very substantive environment that works well for us. Why? Because COVID-19 has prompted a lot of different ideas and a lot of different new challenges that have come up. You know, now we're being forced to use the digital space, whether we like it or not. Now it's a time when you're seeing now most of our youth empowerment centers are being refurbished. Why? So that they can serve the young people, so that they can be able to, you know, help young people access, you know. And then I think that the idea of mentorship as well, I think identifying other young people who are in agriculture and who've adapted to the digital structure of how to now bring in agribusiness into the digital world is a very important element right now. You know, a lot of times as young people, we believe that everything lies with the government or everything lies with the particular person you have. But I think at this point, as ourselves as young people, we can learn so much from one another. Okay, identify which other young person is in the agribusiness. Come together. Either one, say, let's come together and let's go and apply for that fund. Or two, let's come together and teach ourselves. Or three, let's try to access this, or let's teach ourselves artificial intelligence, or let's do that. So I think it's a collective effort that we all require to, you know, build the bridge that is between digital and agriculture, and also teach ourselves on a much more progressive way in order for us to benefit from the different things that are being put up with not only the ministry, but the government as a whole. And the Ministry of Agriculture, before I forget, it's giving grants to young people who are innovating kitchen gardens. I've seen this myself because I've been following up on their social media. You know, I've seen my colleague and on how she's very open about, you know, kitchen gardens and talking about it and calling out to young people. If you have a kitchen garden idea, telling you guys to come and apply so that you're given grants. So this is something that maybe most of you all didn't know about. But again, I said it's all about just being proactive and finding out what is it that works and what is it that doesn't work and what is there. And then there's also KOP. We have another program, which is Kenya Youth Employment Opportunity Program. And basically it gives out grants by the medium small enterprises, you know. So I think you can take advantage of that. And they're always talking about it on their social media. And sometimes they even publish it on newspaper. So this is something that also young people can take advantage and find a much substantive environment for themselves in order to now use these opportunities to not only grow themselves, but the people, you know, around them. And so I think I've talked so much. I hope I've answered everything. And if anyone has more questions, then you can easily send the questions. You can ask the organizing team to send the questions to us, and I will answer the questions through social media as well, because that's one space that we use to make sure that young people know about what is happening, not only in the ministry, but even if I'm able to get what my colleagues are also doing and we come together and we talk about it. My final remarks would just be that I'm very much honored, you know, to just be on this platform today, to be with all of you. There's something that I always say when I'm on different panels or when I'm at different events, and that is Kenya ni mimi. What does Kenya ni mimi mean? Kenya ni mimi means Kenya is you. Yes, the government has programs. Yes, there are different things that we have been given. Yes, there are challenges, but the responsibility lies with yourself. What does that mean? The responsibility about finding out information that will help you and benefit you for the future generation. The information that is out there that you feel like you can use and take advantage of so that you can create a better livelihood for yourself. You know, so the responsibility about building our country comes from us. It comes from within. If we don't take care of our country, and if we don't have a personal agenda with our country as an individual, it's going to be very challenging for us to see the programs that the government has imposed as things that will be beneficial for us. We'll look at it more of, oh, this is not working. Why don't we know this? What is this? What is this? Rather than finding out what is happening, try to sometimes find out what are you doing about that situation. As a young person, how are you contributing to the social welfare of your community? How are you contributing to the social welfare of your country? And right now, with the digital wave that has really come in because of the pandemic, unfortunately, I think I advise young people to really be careful of what they put on their platforms, whether social media, whether traditional media, or anywhere. Because the internet, first of all, never forgets. The people never forget. So when you're trying to do something and we're trying to create change, make sure you create change that will benefit yourself and the generations to come after you. Don't do something because other people are doing. Look for a reason why you're doing it, and why do you support, or why do you believe in a certain thing. Then from there, you'll become very, very, very powerful in your own space. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I think I will invite Angel to give a vote of thanks. Then I think we'll be done for today. Thank you.
All right. Kenneth, did John want to say something?
Absolutely
Before
no.
I close?
Yeah, you can give a vote of
Oh, you're
thanks and a
good?
closing remarks. Exactly.
All right. That was quite an insightful lecture from our CAS, and I believe that moving forward, I can see through her the evidence that the government is trying to put young people at the forefront. So once you say that youth innovations are being put at the forefront, I am quite excited about that, because indeed that is where we should be heading. And as a ministry, and the ministry in which she leads, giving students direction in innovation is quite exciting. And I'm quite excited that we need political participation. Politically, we need to show that we're excited about young people. We want to invest in young people, because at the end of the day, young people are the key to the next phase of our country. And one thing she has also pointed out is on using digital platforms to excel. And you see, when you read about social media globally, governments across the world are using social media to improve on governance. And so social media is the place to be. If you have an activity, if you have an innovation, make it digital, let it be out there as well. It will be shared so many times, it might go viral, you never know where it gets to. And we're seeing young people dancing on videos, and tomorrow they are global ambassadors on education, for education. So there's quite some power in social media, and that's something that as young people we should take advantage of. Because even as myself, I have really tried to use my, there are so many opportunities I've gotten from my social media, and that's one thing I encourage young people to embrace, because that's our today. And then as CAS just said, that we should be careful of about what we post on our social media, because it's going to determine your next generation. Trump the other day said, if you're applying for a visa, they're going to use your social media and check 5 years back from the date of application. And that's something that now we need to put into consideration. So asante sana CAS, Nadia, for speaking to students in such a huge way, such an impactful way. And as students, I'm sure they're happy to see one of their own representing them on the table, and not on the menu this time round. And I'm quite excited about this. And John, for putting this team together, for putting all this together. I hope we can get engaged into so many more, and to even see how we can be able to support this challenge. John, you could reach out to Madam CAS. We could see how we could also support the initiative, and how we can support students moving forward. And then let's keep in touch. Let's keep on the youth conversation. It is the conversation for today. Asante sana for all those who listened. Kenneth Sawe, we have very many mutual friends. I'm happy to see you leading this panel, and the Alumni Association is quite exciting, and I'm happy to be part of this. So let's keep moving forward. Asante sana. Thank you very much.
I think having said that, it is a great honor and a privilege to say that this meeting has been a success. Thank you to all the young people who joined. I want to request all of us to put on their videos so that we can be able to take a good photo together with the CAS. I know this is really a great privilege. These are the digital era times, and I don't know, Makedi, can you hear me? Makedi will be taking us some good photos.
I can hear
Thank you so much. Yeah, so I request all the participants, please just put on your video. This is really an amazing opportunity. Thank you for all who are putting on. You can smile a little bit in front of your camera. So Makedi will be taking us a number of photos together with the CAS here. And Makedi will also direct us. Makedi, please give us directions.
Okay, for the guys who haven't put on their videos,
Yeah, you can.
Okay, it's okay. Yes. Just let the baby cry. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, nowadays Zoom is way better. Our Dean of Students, okay. There we go. I think we are done now.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you so much, CAS, and send our regards to the ministry and Safari Njema even as you travel. Asante. Thank you very much.
God bless you all.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
God, thank you.